Hello, this is Corey, and thank you for purchasing one of our wall shelves. I want to show you what I think is one of the easiest ways to mount the shelves on the wall. The first thing I did is I got a piece of painter's tape and I ripped it about as long as the shelf is, and then I taped it onto the wall where about I wanted it. It doesn't have to be perfect. There is some movement side to side that we don't have to worry about. It doesn't have to be perfectly level either. The next thing that I did is I took a stud finder and I marked where the studs are on the wall. There's stud finding devices you can use. Sometimes you can use other reference points like marks in the wall or a magnet. There's many different ways to find the studs, and you can find other ways on YouTube. The next part that you're going to do is you're going to hold up your bracket about where you want it, and you're looking for the lines here, and you want to move this side to side so one of the holes lines up with the line. Now these are drilled 2 inches on center, so when one lines up, the other one should line up as well. Now I know some of you are not going to be able to hit 2 studs, and we're going to address that just in a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I've already had this on here once, that's why there's a hole there. And I'm going to use the longer screws that are here because we're going through the wood, through the sheetrock, and into the stud. So it doesn't have to be level right now, that's fine. The next thing I'm going to do is I can rotate that down. Now I know that's where the stud is. I can bring this up until it's level, and then I can drive in another screw, and then you'd be ready for the next step, which is putting this on. Now for those of you who are not going to be able to hit 2 studs, maybe your one stud was in the center, so you can do this, and then you're going to have to use wall anchors to anchor the ends. Maybe you hit one end and not the other. The wall anchors go in the same, you'll see what I mean in a second. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the other long screw that I have, and I'm going to pretend that I don't have a stud here and that I have one over here. Now I know that it's level, so what I'm doing is putting a mark in the wall that I can see here, and this can be the pilot hole for the wall anchor. I can hook this up and screw this into place. So that just hangs out there. Then I can bring this back up. Now, you don't want to use the long screw again. There is a 2-inch screw that you want to use there, and I can bring this up. I think the other point I did miss telling you is to see how these holes are offset. They're on the top side. You don't want them down on the bottom. Now that this is anchored, maybe you had to put another one over here, but you should at least hit 1 stud when you put this in. So now this is anchored to the wall. The next thing that you're going to do is identify the top of the shelf. You will see on the top of the shelf there is one hole that's in the top. It's a small hole, and then you can slide your shelf over, center it side to side wherever it is that you want it, and then there's one small screw that you go through the top, go through that hole, and your shelf is in. And you can see I am really pulling down on this. It is strong. Okay, that's it. Thank you. If you have any problems, just reach out and ask us your question, and we'll get back to you. Thanks a lot.